2012-2013 budget. So we'll open the public hearing at this time, and any comments? That'll be made.
Now, Mark, you know, last year when we were here, you were talking about specific lines, so I got copies of the budgets.
Sure.
Are you still sticking to that specific line thing, or I have some questions on the sheriff's budget. Is the sheriff available to come here and answer those questions? Or somebody from his department?
He's in Washington.
Could you call him?
Probably not. He's probably not available. It appears he's in Washington.
You know, how can we have a public hearing when he isn't available to answer any questions on his budget?
You can ask whatever you want, if you're not happy, I guess that's the way it is, you know. So.
And you know, I was looking through there, and I was looking for that specific line where he was, you know, paid fees to handle civil cases, you know, for the Oster Burma law firm, and I don't see we're taking any revenue in for that.
I don't know if that we're taking in for that either.
You know, there's nothing in any of your specific lines. And I had another question. The conversation we had have dealt with Sioux Pharm. You know, we paid $34,000 in legal fees, and I've got a copy of Mr. McAllister's attorney expenditures here. And nothing came from his office for that deal, that $34,000 that was paid to Denny Wright's son, Hedeman Law Firm, you know, to handle that deal. And, you know, it was kind of a poor choice of law firm because they had lost a case previously.
Are you talking about our budget? Or
Well, your 11-12 budget.
Well, yeah, and this is for the 13 budget?
Yeah, but see, when we pay fees like that to outside attorneys, where's that money come from? Doesn't that come from the county attorney's office?
That may have come from the zoning office. Supervisor's office.
Supervisor's budget line?
Yeah.
Or the zoning.
You know, and I think you made the statement to me that, you know, when I talked to you about hiring an outside attorney, you said, well, you know, if there's anything wrong with this and if it's thrown out of court for any reason, I'll resign as chairman of the supervisors.
I don't recall saying
And you remember the Supreme Court threw the thing out.
I like the way you put words in people's mouths.
Well, I like the way you did it last year at the public hearing meeting.
Here we got again, though, Ron. This is not about this year's budget. This is about
the budget. This is expenditure of taxpayers' money senselessly when we didn't have to spend it.
Stick to the budget. Stick to the budget. Sorry.
It is the budget. It's money that we spent, $34,000 of the taxpayers' money that was thrown away just so we could manipulate in the courts on something we had no jurisdiction on.
One more time, stick to the budget, Ron.
And did you not want the pit closed down? You guys are the ones who hard about wanting the pit closed down.
All it took was Mr. McAllister to go in front of the judge and say the writ of certiorari hadn't been filed on time.
Has the fines ever been paid?
Have any fines ever been collected on that?
Yes.
We collected $50,000 from the bonding company. Was there any other fines paid?
Well, there was $50,000 fine was paid, that's correct.
It came from the bonding company. When he put up the bond and lost the case, the bond was forfeited. That automatically became the county money. That did not become fine money.
Well, I don't recall the specifics, but $50,000.
I would think you would. I mean, you're the guy that's, you know, had the opportunity to go in on behalf of the county and levy the fines and collect them.
This is the 2013 budget, Ron. Old stuff.
Then let's talk about your raises coming
I'm
up.
telling you, I'm going to have you removed if you don't stick to the 2013 budget.
Okay, we're going on to the 2013 budget.
You want to know
The
about
proposed raise for the supervisors and the proposed raise for the county attorney and the sheriff.
Correct.
You know, you guys are getting paid more than the Nebraska unicameral.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
You
right?
guys are the highest paid supervisors in a 4-county area.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
We have the highest paid sheriff, we have the highest paid county attorney in a 4-county area.
That is correct.
Is there any reason for you to justify that when you pull this kind of crap in your meetings? You know, when we waste taxpayer money.
You can have your input. I'm not going to answer that.
May I? Just make a little comment? The board doesn't set their own salaries.
No, I know it's done by the compensation board, but they have to vote to approve it. We're familiar with that.
You know. So, okay. All right, anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. I'm responsible for that case being thrown out. I sent an email to the Judicial Commission down there in Des Moines, and 2 hours later, Chief Justice Cady entered an order throwing it out because I was notifying him about certain things, including with Jim Scott, who, when I was county attorney, ended up having this board and this county sued because of his incompetence, but somehow became a judge and would have been on the Supreme Court. And they sat around with that case. They don't have money to operate the court system, but they have money to screw around with this deal and not understand that jurisdiction has to be filed within 30 days. The Heedman Law Firm, I talked to James Redmond, the senior partner, and informed him that they had missed that, and yet they, you have an obligation to recover that money. None of it should have ever been spent. Your county attorney should have known what the law is and that they missed that deadline. They have 30 days after a zoning decision, and there's no getting around it. There's two cases, one which the Heedman Law Firm handled called Sergeant Bluff versus Woodbury County Board of Zoning, and another case called the City of Dubuque versus Taylor versus the City of Dubuque. And the Supreme Court has said there's no getting around it. You can't file a declaratory judgment. You can't file an appeal. If you miss that 30-day deadline for a petition for writ of certiorari, you're done, over, out. Stop wasting our time. And yet this case messed around for 2 years, wasted all this taxpayer money, and it was only because I sent them an email, and 2 hours later Justice Cady stamped the decision and said, get this case out of here. They didn't do it during their regular deal of review. They do it once a month. You can check their website. It's not on any of their lists. It was handled specially by Chief Justice Cady that noon. The other thing is that you're spending money on collecting fines here in this county. The county attorney, I tried to get this thing dismissed or whatever. They charged me with operating with a suspended license. They failed to produce documents that we had asked the sheriff for that showed that he was actively interfering. They held me in the Alton post office to interfere with me getting my mail for over a half hour, and they failed to produce those documents.
Wasn't that 1982?
No, a long time later.
Again,
No, it's right here on the report. And the county attorney doesn't produce these reports. What I'm saying is that you're spending money on collecting fines. In 1979...
Until you talk about the budget,
right.
I'm going to have to cut you off.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You're spending money.
In our budget.
They just brought over the papers to serve me because he doesn't even know how to try to collect these fines. You have to serve somebody personally.
Okay.
So now he just called over and had the sheriff serve me for the first time.
Yeah, but right now you're wasting our time.
No, you're not. You're throwing people into jail without any jurisdiction or anything else.
Just wait, Mark, just wait. Just wait.
Well, I've got about enough here.
Let's go on.
This is about the budget.
Well, when I talked to you a few years ago,
About the budget.
you're spending money.
About the budget.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is that
No, not the past. This budget that we have before us right here.
yeah.
You talk about that, you can talk. Otherwise,
Well-
you gotta be quiet.
Well, are you going to spend money to collect the money that's already owed you? I took a case to the Iowa Supreme Court, and they said that those monies were obtained illegally by an attorney, and there were a bunch of other attorneys, and then none of it's ever been collected. $979, it's a
I'm
case.
not talking about the 2012 budget.
Well, are you going to spend your money to do that? That's what my question is. Does this budget include that?
I can't answer that.
Rather than going after poor people, are you going to go after rich attorneys? That's what my question is.
Okay. Ready to move on? Anybody else?
Do you have a response, anybody?
No.
Does your county attorney have a response?
I'd like to know why I was denied my,
About the budget, Mark, about the budget.
from Coleman McAllister.
Okay. You can ask the question, but we'll probably
Talk about the budget.
we won't respond. Anything else?
How many of you people are up for election this year?
Well, there's three of us, but that's not about the budget either.
Okay, just a question.
Any other public comment? Okay, we'll close the public hearing at this time. And then we have to vote, right? It's a resolution to approve the budget. I'll ask for a motion by Al. Support? Support, Denny?
Not at all?
Yeah, okay. Support by Arlen. Any discussion on board? Denny?
Aye.
Al? Aye. John? Aye. Chairman votes aye. All right, thank you. So,
time you report, and what time you report?
10:15 is our phone.
10:15 for the, so let's see, we could take, well, let's see, I don't know, that's a little longer. Yeah. I don't think there's any other committee reports, is there? Your judicial report on that?
Yeah, you were out for a minute when we started the committee report.
Yeah, you
went
got
out
any
to
committee
talk to
reports
Dave.
other than what to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We could discuss this, I suppose. This is basically some information we got to figure out. Yeah, and we got to figure out, we got some left from the city, the 20 that distributed. So do you have a record of?
What are you doing today?
I'm the chair for the school board, so.
Okay.
Down 30.
Okay. You guys gonna